Well, what do you know? Here we are with Samsung's Galaxy Watch 7, which frankly, I never imagined myself purchasing. After all, I was already getting my hands full handling its bigger brother, the Galaxy Watch Ultra, and simultaneously too busy fighting keyboard warriors over whether it was an Apple Watch Ultra knockoff. But I digress. For the all-new Galaxy Watch 7, my expectations were a spec bump, some new software tricks, maybe a bit of AI sprinkled in for good measure. But folks, this might just be the biggest shift we've seen in the Galaxy Watch experience in years, I would say. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Let's waste no time and dive into what makes the Galaxy Watch 7 here stand out. Spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with the design. I mean, if you've seen last year's Galaxy Watch, well, you've basically seen this one. Samsung's keeping things steady with a familiar frame. And for those of you who feel like living dangerously, well, remember the Galaxy Watch Ultra I mentioned earlier? Yeah, grab that one and go nuts. It's truly an adventure. Now, back to this guy here, and let's go ahead and talk design. This thing feels premium. The moment I unboxed it, I was struck by how substantial it felt, while at the same time being comfortable on the wrist. The display is crisp and responsive. Navigating the UI feels smooth, which, let's face it, it's not always a given with smartwatches. Now, full disclosure, I take my health very seriously. So exercising, tracking sleep, heart rate monitoring, stress levels are terms that are ever present in my vocabulary. I no longer have the luxury of enjoying a top-notch metabolism as it used to be back in my college ball days. So when Samsung promised AI features along with many new health-related features, well, my expectations were super high. And so far, the health tracking features are extensive, to say the least. Heart rate, stress, you name it, it's got all of it. We'll go into even more details down the line, but let's not skip steps here, right? Let's cover specs here. Some of you are wondering, what about storage? Well, Samsung did double it, but I mean, come on. Apple and Google have had 32 gigs in their watches for years, so no, that's not the headline here either. Not at all. The star of this show, the real star of this show, is under the hood. A brand new processor that finally makes the Galaxy Watch feel as smooth as it should have all along. Some of you know this. Samsung stuck with the Exynos W920 processor for 3 generations. The Galaxy Watch 4, 5, and slightly tweaked on the 6. That old processor was infamous for lagging, stuttering, and just generally putting a damper on the whole experience. You would agree with me that that's not exactly the kind of thing you want to hear from your premium smartwatch, right? This new one, well, is packing a real punch. The Exynos W1000. And let me tell you, the difference here is night and day. In fact, according to Samsung, this bad boy's got triple the performance of the previous chip. And even if you don't care about numbers, you have to admit that is kind of impressive. Customizing watch faces, flipping through apps, and using the digital bezel, super responsive and just wicked fast. And oh, Samsung is beefing up that ecosystem too. The Samsung Find app is now available on the Galaxy Watch, giving you quick access to all of your Galaxy devices. Lose your phone? Well, just ping it from your wrist. The seamlessness of it all is actually pretty slick if you are all in, Galaxy gear. Interacting with the device itself has been pretty sweet. I'm already familiar with this, so I know what to expect. Although I still do not love that digital bezel, but it does work, and I cannot hate that part. We've got some new watch faces as well. The Ultra info bar is pretty clean and so much more. Samsung also did add a cool new pinch gesture here. I'm sure Apple Watch Ultra fans are thrilled about that. But here's the thing, it's limited. Right now, you can use it to answer or dismiss calls, and on certain screens, you can actually scroll through messages. It's neat, it works most of the time, but I'm hoping to expand it a little more in future updates. On the health side, Samsung has refined the Samsung Health app to be more approachable with new animation and metrics. The energy score is also pretty cool, using AI to give you a rating based off sleep or activity or even heart rate. Now, sleep tracking, well, let's be honest, I may be serious about my health, but I've always struggled with getting quality sleep, right? So I was super excited to see what this watch could do when it comes down to sleep. And at first it seemed promising. The advanced sensor gives you a detailed breakdown of your sleep stages, REM sleep, deep sleep, light sleep, the whole deal. But here's where things got, well, frustrating. If I were to be doing anything other than just laying down to sleep, say, for example, if I were just sitting or laying still reading a book or scrolling through my phone or something like that, the watch would often think that I've already hit the hay. It's assuming that I'm sleeping. That meant that my sleep scores were totally inflated, at least in some instances. Not all the time, but in some instances, making the whole point of tracking sleep, well, feel a little bit off. And mind you, I do rely on these scores in order to make adjustments so that I can build better sleeping habits. Oh, and the battery life, yeah, no true improvement there. Even with that fancy new chip there, you're still looking at a day, maybe a day and a half if you're lucky. Sure, you could stretch it by, disabling some features like the always on display or heart rate monitoring, but personally, I'm not down for that. I just charge it daily and just use it to the full potential. Also, one downgrade that kind of stung a little, wireless power share. Yeah, it's gone. You cannot top up your watch from the back of your Galaxy phone anymore. Granted, it's not a deal breaker, but I liked having it as an emergency backup, especially on trips. Personally, I didn't use it much, but I could definitely imagine that there are people out there who use it a lot. So with all of this said, is the Galaxy Watch 7 the biggest leap in smartwatch history? Well, no, definitely not. But thanks to the powerful new processor, it finally delivers a premium experience worthy of the name. If you are coming from a Galaxy Watch 4 or 5, this is an upgrade worth considering for sure. But if you've got yourself the Watch 6 Classic, for example, then you might want to wait for the next big thing. Besides, the Watch 7 here doesn't have a physical rotating bezel, but that's just me being biased. Either way, the Galaxy Watch 7 here is a solid step in the right direction. But that's just my take. Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure to add your questions or comment to that section there. Make sure to share this video if you know anyone who will be interested. I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. Make sure to hit the like, the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.